So, when you hire a real estate agent, you probably think you know exactly who you're paying, right? But what if I told you there's a silent partner in that deal, one who takes a huge cut of the commission before your agent even sees a penny? Today, we're diving deep into the hidden world of real estate referral fees.
On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward. You pay a commission, your agent gets that money. But, the reality is often way more complicated than that. So let's ask the big question. Who really gets paid when you close on a home?
Okay, let's get on the same page with the key term here, a referral fee. Basically, it's a payment an agent makes to another company. Think of the big online players like Zillow or Realtor.com for connecting them with a client. Yep, for connecting them with you. It's basically a finder's fee. Now, this isn't just some minor industry quirk we're talking about. A brand new report from the Consumer Policy Center says this very common practice is about to become the next major legal battleground in real estate. The whole system is really starting to come under the microscope. So why all the drama? What's the big deal? Well, let's break down the case against these referral fees and really look at the argument that this hidden cost is ultimately being passed on to people like you and me. The first thing you have to understand is just how big these fees are. We are not talking about a small slice of the pie. An agent can pay 30 to 40% of their entire commission to the company that sent them the lead. That is a massive chunk of money gone, right off the top.
And this isn't some niche thing happening in a few places. To get a sense of the scale, just look at Zillow. They are the biggest player in this space, and they facilitate over 1.4 million buyer connections every single year through their network. Some estimates suggest that up to 80% of all home sales involve some kind of referral. It's everywhere.
So, what's the actual harm here? Well, according to that CPC report, this system creates 4 big problems. First, these fees help keep commission rates high and inflexible, which makes it harder for agents to negotiate with you. Second, you have to wonder if it hurts the quality of service you get, since a huge piece of the payment is going to a third party. Third, the whole model pushes agents to focus on closing deals fast and getting more of them. And finally, critics say the whole process is kind of deceptive because consumers, well, they usually have no clue this referral fee even exists. But of course, there are always 2 sides to the story. So let's flip it around and look at the defense of the referral model. Let's see how companies like Zillow argue that this is just a normal cost of doing business today. So the whole debate really boils down to 2 totally different ways of looking at this. The critics, they see it as a hidden fee that makes commissions bigger and is kept secret from the consumer. The proponents, like Zillow, they frame it as a standard marketing expense, just like an agent buying a billboard or a newspaper ad. And here's the argument straight from a Zillow spokesperson. They say, look, agents have always spent money on marketing, billboards, print ads, you name it. This is just the new digital version of that. The big difference, they'd argue, is that with their model, agents only pay when they've actually helped a client succeed. And to back this view up, Zillow points to its own internal surveys, which found that a whopping 85% of consumers felt their agent's commission was fair or maybe even too low. Their point is, hey, if these fees were really inflating commissions in a bad way, you'd probably see a lot more unhappy customers. Now, make no mistake, this is not just some theoretical argument between a consumer group and a tech giant. The real estate industry itself is completely divided on this, and the fight over transparency is happening as we speak. Let's just look at the timeline of how this has been playing out. In late 2023, the National Association of Realtors' own delegates actually voted against a rule for more transparency. Then, in 2025, a massive class action lawsuit gets filed against Zillow over these exact fees. And now, you're seeing some brokerages getting ahead of the curve and creating their own disclosure forms without even waiting for a national rule. So why are some people resisting more transparency? Well, this chart gives you a pretty big clue. For a lot of agents, it's a huge income stream. We're talking about almost half of agents earning between $10,000 and $50,000 a year, just from referring clients to other agents. Changing the rules on this could really mess with a lot of paychecks. Okay, so we've looked at the arguments, we've seen the data, and we've talked about the conflict inside the industry. But why should any of this matter to you? Let's bring it all back to the most important person in this whole equation, the home buyer or seller. The main solution being pushed by critics is actually pretty simple. It's mandatory disclosure. The idea is to just require agents to tell you right up front about any referral fees involved. This would help reinforce that an agent's number one duty is to their client, and it would make sure that you, the consumer, understand exactly who's getting paid and why.
So here's the bottom line. The entire real estate industry is under a microscope right now for how agents get paid. With these massive lawsuits already shaking up the rules on commissions, it really does look like these referral fees could be the next big domino to fall.
And all of this brings us to one final, really important question, the one I want you to think about. If you knew that 30, maybe even 40% of your agent's commission was going straight to a tech company just for sending your name over, would that change how you negotiate? Could that knowledge actually change the price you end up paying for your next home?